Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wingcat Sports, and it's the weekly Tigers breakdown. A fantastic week for the Tigers. They went 5-1.
Fantastic.
They went 5-1. They had a chance to sweep the week, and they failed at it. But overall, they had a good week.
Had a great week. I mean, you can't. Like I said, you just got to keep winning series. They swept Houston. Great.
They swept Houston, which you didn't think you were going to do. You thought you probably were going to lose that series. And then you had a good series against the Royals where you really should have swept them.
Right.
You scored 8 runs.
But they clobbered us with their bats.
That last game they caught on, which, it
happens. And
you're
we're not
going to win every
game. Like I said, we just got to go out there we play these series against our biggest competitors. What are we now, 10 games up?
10.5. If you would have won yesterday, you would have been up to 12.5 games. Cleveland keeps on losing. They're down to 12.5
They had
games
their
back.
streak, and now they're
Minnesota is
what
8.
They are. Garbage.
Minnesota's 18 games back.
Minnesota, I'm not worried about. They're Chicago.
So overall,
it's Kansas City or Cleveland that has a shot against us, but
you have a chance to bury them this week.
If the Tigers play to their potential, they should. Like I said, they should coast.
You can. This is the last week of August. You can go into the month of September with a hefty lead, depending on where everything is at. Looking at who is playing who, we're playing the Athletics and the Royals to end the week. So, right there, you have a chance to bury the Royals even more. They are also going to end up playing. Where are we? Yeah, there we are. They're going to end up playing us later in the week, and then they're going to end up playing the White Sox earlier this week. So, they're not going to get buried just yet. But again, at the end of the week, you have a chance. And the same thing when it comes to Cleveland. You are 12.5 games up on them. You play 2 series in September against them. They are about to play the Rays, so that's not very good for them, on top of the fact that they are also going to play the Mariners this week, which, again, not the greatest for them overall. Because, again,
that's a good test. They got to get tested. They can't go into the playoffs just lollygagging or something. That's bad stuff.
Well, so this allows you to have an easier, well, not easier, but, breathe a sigh of relief going into September. Because, again, you've been doing great stat-wise. Riley Green finally hit the 30 home run mark. He's up to 31. RBI-wise, he's still 5 away from 100. You're batting mostly as a team around 250 for the most part. Dingler technically leads the team with 271, while Zach McKinstry, as more of the everyday player, leads with a 266, which is roughly about average. Your worst batting average out of the starters on the team looks to be Matt Vierling, because they're not going to even consider Jake Rogers a starter with how much Dylan Dingler is playing. So Matt Vierling, even though he's only played 31 games, he's batting at 239. Trey Sweeney's not an everyday player. He's constantly sent down. You can include him as the lowest at 208. Well, your everyday players, your lowest is a 239.
Yeah, which isn't bad.
Which is not bad at all, batting average-wise. Home run-wise, you're on the 30 home run watch now for Torkelson. He's at 28. We'll see if we'll get on 30 home run watch with Carpenter at some point. He's 8 away. But we'll see where he's sitting at the end of
How many
September.
people you have close to 30? No, we only have 2 people.
You have 2 and 1 over.
Oh, cool.
Torres is at 13. McKinstry's at 11.
Carpenter might 11. Be able to reach 30.
Everybody, for the most part, out of your starters is at 11, besides Javi. Well, even Javi has 11. Everybody has more than 10 homers if you're a starter. Besides, again, Matt Vierling, who has played 31 games to hit 1 home run. Outside of that, even Trey Sweeney has 6 and has his timely home runs. So there's that as well.
Right.
They're playing well. They are playing fantastic. RBI-wise, looking at it, really Riley Green's the only one near 100. Everyone else is probably going to be, we'll see where they end up being at, but we'll figure it all out as the year goes. But again, it's not that bad. They're not having a bad time. It's not been a bad week, and you're going to keep on playing well. You're not going to really have to worry about anything. Overall league standings, when you're looking at it, We are a game and a half up on Toronto in the American League, which is fantastic. And you're also 3.5 from first place overall. Not the best team in baseball anymore, but you are still the best team in the American
Milwaukee
League.
kind of slowed down.
Milwaukee currently is at 81 wins. We're
What's
at
their
78. They have lost 2 in a row.
Well, okay, so they slowed down a little bit.
A
Okay.
little bit, just a little bit. We'll see what we end up. Again, if we're not first place overall, that is fine. But first place in the American League would be nice to have home field throughout the playoffs until the World Series. They're giving us a greater than 99% chance. Greater than 99.9
To do what? To make the playoffs?
to make the playoffs.
Oh,
That's what ESPN is currently giving us. They're saying there's no way we do not miss the playoffs. Um,
Well, you take into account our division, and
if you're
no one
thinking
really,
if you're thinking you're going to be one of these top 2 spots, what are your possibilities of who you play in the playoffs? Right now, your wild card teams are the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Mariners.
wow, that's pretty tough.
With
Wild card.
with Kansas City being 3 games back, if you're likely to play the third place team in the American League, which you wouldn't, you're more likely to play the wild card.
How many people get a bye in baseball?
2 top 2 seeds. So you're 5.5 games up on the Astros, which would be worried about the bye. And then you're going to end up playing a wild card team. So that if you get first place, if you get second place, you're going to probably either play Houston or again a wild card team, which is currently Boston, New York, or Seattle. Most people wouldn't mind seeing New York because of our history against New York in the playoffs.
Right.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind Boston either. Boston somehow came out of nowhere, but I think you could handle Boston. The only team that I would semi-be worried about is Seattle. Not even the Royals. If you played the Royals in a series, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I think lately Seattle's been the team that's been giving us some trouble, but that's the way it is. Who cares? Let's get in the playoffs.
But for your sake of who you care about, you got cold weather, and a dome in the wild card.
Yeah, it's not early. Early on, it'll be fine with 50-degree weather and stuff.
Well, and that's the great thing about depending on who advances. Seattle will be the only with the dome. The other 2 would be cold. And then when you look at division wise, Toronto dome, Astros are in a dome. So inside baseball is for the playoffs. It seems like.
I mean, I always wonder, like I said, what's the closest dome to us if we have to play somewhere else?
Toronto.
Okay. Well, but they might be the ones who are playing.
They're not going to cancel a game because of a snowstorm here.
You don't get kind of a weird.
We don't get snowstorms in October. It's going to be like 70 in October.
It's getting weird.
That's what's going to happen. It's going to be 70 degrees in October because that's how it's been. But it'll be an interesting week. Athletics, you should have no problem with. You're playing in a minor league ballpark in Sacramento. So we'll see how that goes for the week. And then you're going to play the Royals in Kansas City. Again, you have a good series against them. If they struggle throughout the week while you win a couple games in Sacramento, and then you go to Kansas City and win that series, Kansas City should be about 14 games back potentially by the end of the week, depending on how it all goes.
Yep.
Which would be great for you to get into September with, because it means you literally can lose more than half your games and you would make the playoffs.
Right. There was, like I said, I thought back when we were in our losing slump, and I thought they had a legitimate shot to blow this, but they've come on as of late, and I guess every team is going through this a little bit. Los Angeles has had their troubles. Everybody else, like I said, we're only 3 games out of the best record in baseball, so we can't complain.
And again, you're top of the American League, so at least until the World Series, if you make the World Series, you have home field, which is perfectly fine with me. If we get that far, it's just be amazing anyways, because nobody thought they would be here that soon. We thought maybe they'd be competitive this year, but we didn't think they'd be vying for best spot, top team in baseball, and potential World Series already. If anyone were to pick who would probably won the next championship, surprisingly, they would have picked the Lions.
Yeah, but that's getting to be more and more. No, but who knows?
You still have a good team.
Yep, we
Yeah,
still have a good team.
yeah, great team. But we'll end it here. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Tigers, what they can do to improve on what they've been doing. Keep on winning. Until next time, see everybody soon.